And welcome back to the hottest marriage show in the world. It's I, John D. and Kanika, a.k.a. And Too Much Podcast. Good morning, good morning.
Good morning.
Are you frustrated from our last episode still?
No, I'm not frustrated.
That's good. You know, I do want you to know, regardless of my past behaviors, I really don't try to bother you. Like, I'll give you an example. Last night, I forgot what we were talking about, but I was like, if I said it like this, she is going to go crazy. So the whole time I was thinking, like, how can I say it for her to be like, and then we had a little conversation and your tone in your voice didn't sound like you were talking. I was just like, oh, I did it. In my head, I was jumping up and down, like my arms. I was like, I cannot believe we had this conversation. I didn't feel nothing change with her. Your energy did change in my mind until I heard your voice. And I was like, oh, it went well. Mm-hmm. And to me, I was like, that was like one of those fruits you get from trying it out. Because in my head, I promise, I was just like, this needs to be discussed. I don't know how to do it without her taking it the wrong way. And I felt like I just grew as a person last night. I felt like I grew as a person last night. It made me feel good. And then today I felt like I just grew. Like I promise when I have conversation with you, it's a joy because I know that a lot of those mistakes won't happen with other people. Mm-hmm. And I feel like the conversations will go a lot more smoother. So that made me feel really good.
That's good.
Yeah. So shout out to strategically planning conversations that are important and not just going in there with you think you're right. Mm-hmm. So, yeah. But, you know, our kids are getting closer and closer to the age where they're going to depart. What are you looking forward to in their high school years that we haven't already experienced?
I guess, we used to be concerned about them experiencing high school and having quote unquote fun like we did. And, I don't think about that anymore. So the other night, after the conferences, when we talked to Dallas about what the teachers had said about him, some of their suggestions, my boy went into the course description and started rewriting the classes he was going to take for the rest of his career. And the things he said, like, blew my mind.
I was about to say mind blowing.
Yeah, he was like, I'm going to take these classes senior year because these are college prep. I'm going to take this and this. This is a math credit. Like, he was, so when he was talking about the different things he wanted to do, the courses, and then he started looking at, okay, so there were only 2 universities he's been talking about lately. And we went and looked at one of the universities, and he's like running down the opportunities where one of them gives him a faster track to a master's. And he was like, yeah, so this is probably where I'm going to go because da-da-da-da. That stuff excites me. Number one, because it was completely him. Number 2, he said, I want to test out of as many of my requirements as possible so that I can use more of my time on electives and kind of explore. Look, I was thinking about exploring in college and paying for that thing. My boy was like, if I do this, then it allows me the opportunity to grow myself here, grow myself there. And I'm just excited. He wants to do Spanish his entire high school career. So, the international trips he's open to doing. His teacher was like, he should be in the Model UN. The things that...
What is the Model UN?
So, like the United Nations, it's a high school club that you can take on positions that are present in the UN and model them out to kind of understand what world politics look like. Similarly, they have youth in government in the U.S. through the YMCA, and they can do our government setup where, depending on, you can be lobbyists and senators and House representatives, all kinds of stuff. And so I had tried to, and this also shows the difference between me saying something and somebody else saying it, because I tried to get Dallas to do, we talked about Model UN at the beginning of the year when we were looking over clubs, and I tried to get him interested in youth and government. He was like, "Nah, I'm all right." But his social studies teacher was like, his history teacher, he was like, Dallas should really go for the AP World History. He would do great, and he would get this college credits. And if he wanted to, he should do Model UN with me. Then all of a sudden we tell him, and he was like, "Yeah, I'll do that." You know what I mean?
I think he doesn't understand who his parents are.
Yeah.
And he needs confirmation from his younger teachers.
Right. But I say all that to say it's great to see him taking advantage of every opportunity. Like, I can test out of this, get these classes, see the things that I might be interested in. Then he's looking forward. That's exciting to me. Day is exciting because she's like, talking to me about which programs, which electronic devices and things are going to work best for her for animation, and what she's doing to get into this new media program in their school district. Like, to see her say this, and her writing, like, I'm just going to brag on our kids real quick. Day has been writing this story she's been writing for her class. It takes so many different turns. Like, it gives me just a glimpse of who she may be as an author, and she described that as being something she wanted to do. So we have like an architect, and then we have this artist author. They're so very different, but these kids, it's great to listen to them talk about their future, and it's not with anxiety or fear. It's like, hey, I'm gonna do this. They do things like anything is possible.
Yeah.
And when we were growing up, like you and I were talking earlier, I was saying to him, "Oh, it's fall, You remember I know y'all remember this, the little commercials where they had the little pumpkin carving knife. It was like $6.99, and they used to have it on Nickelodeon and all kinds of stuff." And you were talking about, you grew up, you didn't ask for stuff. When I grew up, we asked for stuff, but we would do like, it wouldn't be like, "Mom, can we have this now?" We would ask way in advance. Like, it'd be this year, "Mom, next year, can we get this?" "Mom, can," and Day and Dallas kind of do that now. Can we have this for Christmas? But you kind of put your own, what is the word I want? Not barriers, but you kind of stop yourself from asking for things when all you have to do is ask, because all they could say is no. The worst thing they could do is say no. But Day and Dallas, they kind of just do stuff like anything is possible.
Yeah.
And I love that. I love it.
That I'm definitely, like, you hit it on the nail for both of them. I wanted to mention Darius. Like, evaluating Darius in this short period of time, he reminds me of a person who was raised like I was. And when I say that, I mean just some of his ideas is, I want to go to college to do this, to make this money. And we're not that family that just send you to college anymore. If you're going to college, it has to be a specific purpose, some type of intent, because that's an expensive lesson to not be able to utilize. And we're not poor like that anymore. And when I say poor, I mean just the information that we have in comparison to my father. I was telling Kanika not earlier, but before, my father always told me, go to college, you get a good job, and you make money. That was a lie. It was a lie. Like, I got a degree, and I got lucky because I found education, but overall, that wasn't what I wanted to do. He told me we were going to make $60,000 with a degree. That wasn't true. But I think that Darius has the same mindset. Like, if he goes to college, he says he's going to be a lawyer or a judge, and he doesn't understand the requirements or the effort it takes to actually complete these ideas. So now, he's still interested in college, but I'm getting him to focus on something that he's truly interested in. Because if you're interested in, you're more likely to complete the task. If you're just doing something because of money and you don't like the requirements, you're going to just fall off of it, and it's not going to be as important. And I feel like now, listening to him, he's thinking about YouTubing now, and I feel like I can help him a lot more. Day can help him, and we can kind of like get him, I guess, in the mindset of working on something every single day until it becomes good. Listening to him, I feel like he's a lot more open-minded than I was. And I'm glad that he respects us to the point where he'll consider the things we're saying.
Mm-hmm.
Because I think they in Dallas, when you suggest things to them, they need some confirmation from somebody else.
No, it's so disrespectful though. I be like, dude, like I don't know. Why don't I come across to them as somebody they can trust? You know. It's
you mean the blind trust thing that you mentioned before?
Yeah, like I'm your whole
you?
entire mom. But like, if anybody is gonna make sure that I'm not leading you in a bad way, it's gonna be me. But I guess, I'm not a U.S. history teacher. I'm not I'm not in that profession. And so, I don't know.
It doesn't matter anyway, because we were both in the profession of math.
True. And they don't care.
It doesn't.
They will tell us that we ain't doing it right.
Yeah.
So.
But I guess, you hit it. Like, I'm looking forward to them enjoying these years. And like you mentioned earlier, our high school years, we had a lot of down days.
Yeah.
Like days that we did not like because of whatever reasons.
Yeah.
If it was a friend, a boyfriend, girlfriend, whatever, your parents or whatnot. But talking to them, Day made me mad because I was like, Day, out of a year, how many days are you unhappy? And she was like, oh, I don't know. And I said, Day, I need you to think about it. Like, how many days do you think? Just estimate, guess. How am I supposed to figure that out? I was like, Day, when's the last time you was upset or bothered about something? And she said, last week, I think she was on her cycle or something, and she had like a sharp pain in her stomach. And I was like, okay, any other days like that? I don't know. I can't remember. And she didn't sound like that. She doesn't sound like, she sounds really nice, but I'm making her sound like that because I felt like that's the way it's supposed to sound if you're going to answer that way. So I asked Dallas. I said, Dallas, out of the last year, how many days can you say that you were unhappy? He said, maybe 10 days. I said, that is really good. Out of 10 days? He was like, yeah. And I was like I just started thinking about me, like at least half my days in high school each year, maybe not my senior year, it was less, but I was bothered a lot of days. And, I got to say more than that, because if you like sports and you're going to be down a lot because you didn't win them all. You know what I'm saying? So to me, I feel like listening to them, their baseline of happiness is way higher than ours.
Yeah. And
even though we want them to have the peaks of the happiness, I think our peaks of those happiness was just so high because we were down so low. So the things that we thought were fun was just so much better than what we were doing. You know what I'm saying? So looking at them, talking to Darius about his happiness, he likes living with us because it's nobody's yelling. And watching how he functions in the house, like he'll be around us, but then when he's by himself, like he has a speakerphone on so everybody can hear his conversation. He got music playing and TV in the background.
He does.
And I'm like, hey, why do you got everything on? But then you just think it's just like so much chaos that he's used to with getting in trouble, having other siblings being yelled at. And that's got to be a culture shock for him. And hopefully the culture shock is in his best interest. Because a lot of times culture shock can change your behavior for the worse. So hopefully he gets to enjoy the last year and a half of his high school years in a way that he didn't think could happen.
Yeah.
I remember in high school, I didn't think I could have wished I had a better life. I just thought that was supposed to be my life. And if I didn't play basketball or worked, I don't know, I probably would have ended up on drugs or something.
Wow.
Because it was like I had to stay busy. And if I didn't stay busy, I would have been really bored. I know I couldn't end up on drugs. None of my friends did drugs. So it wasn't like I was exposed to any of it.
Right.
So I don't even know why I said that. But
you be extreme.
I am, because I was just thinking, like, I know how many days I was unhappy. I know, like, when I was unhappy. I know what could make me unhappy. And that ain't no good feeling.
No, not at all.
And, I wasn't mature enough to be like, just let it go. I would hold grudges. Just imagine I held grudges like all the way through adulthood. Like maybe until about 30, I stopped holding grudges. And then it was with people that I hadn't seen in years, 10, 15 years. I'm like, still don't like them. Like, why am I not? So, it's good to see that we have some healthy kids mentally.
Yeah.
And even though Darius came from a different, environment, I feel like he'll be able to mature and catch up where he can do whatever he wants by the time it's time for him to do something.
Absolutely. Yeah.
So I guess looking forward to I know Darius is going to do prom.
Absolutely.
Well, I know he's going to do any social activity that has to do with school. Yeah.
Any absolute
day in Dallas. I was thinking like, are we supposed to encourage them to do it? I would like to know the statistics on happiness, those who went to prom and those who didn't.
Just prom.
Like extra homecoming.
Yeah.
Anything that has to do with social activities of your peer group. That Dallas is going to do the Model UN. So I'm sure anybody who's participating in that club is similar to the way that he thinks.
Yeah.
Because that club for me would have been a no. That is for smart people.
Oh my God.
Yeah. I did FBLA, Future Business Leaders of America, but that's probably the smartest club I was in. I did HSTMP, High School Student Teacher Minority Program, and FHA, Future Homemakers of America.
Wow.
Like I was into these things because I felt like it would make my resume to go to college better.
Oh, Future Homemakers, huh?
Yeah. So it was it was the person that was over it was the class that Dallas wants to take where he carries around a baby.
Child development type.
Yeah. Yeah.
Family or something.
Yeah. Family consumer science, maybe. But yeah, but I was in those things because I really thought I thought I was cold because none of my friends was doing it. They all said they wanted to go to college. I was like, I'm going to go to college. I was in everything and I participated, but none of that really mattered. Now that I look back at it, but I think because those clubs they was just exposure clubs. It wasn't like.
So none of it mattered. So should we not be encouraging them to?
Oh no, I think I was doing it for different reasons. This is their interest.
Yeah.
They're going to look at it completely different.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So to me, I'm like, I just want to see what they can learn and what they're going to bring back because they're really good at sharing what they've learned and think about.
Right.
Yeah. So being that we're looking forward to special things our kids are going to do, have you looked at the end, like when they possibly could be out of the house, like what that feels like?
No. I don't even think about that. Number one, because I didn't leave my mother's house until I was 23. I spent my entire undergraduate career in living at home. And I think that Day and Dallas have I know Dallas is going to leave for college. I'm 93% sure that he's not going to be at Michigan State. I don't know what would put him at Michigan State so he's at home.
Me neither.
But I don't see it ever happening. I'm going to say it's 97% sure he's not going to be here. But
they would have to pay him probably.
They would.
Pay him outside of a scholarship.
Yes.
Yeah, they would.
He's going to be gone at 18, and I understand that. Day, I feel like Day would leave just to be able to be independent and just chill on her own. But at the same time, we don't bother her.
Yeah.
So I wonder if she's really going to put forth the effort of doing that or what. I don't know.
She says she wanted roommates.
I know. That was interesting. So with her, it's I know that with all of our kids, the door is going to stay open. So whether they float in or float out, it doesn't matter to me as long as they don't go away and we just don't have no contact. Because I know what it's like. You need to be able to live and be a kid and, experience life. I'm all for it. Darius, I think Darius is so excited about owning a home and having a car and stuff. I just want to pump his brakes a little bit so that he allows himself an opportunity to financially, when he steps out, he's really, really ready. Like, don't feel like it has to look a certain way at 18.
Mm-hmm.
Don't feel like you have to have this but like I said, for all the kids, the door stays open. So I'm not really, I don't think about the house ever really being empty. I don't. You?
No, I can't say that I do, but I do think about when we can leave. like when we can leave, like for the weekend.
Right.
Like I think we can almost do it now. I'm worried about the caregiving of the dogs. Outside of that, maybe we need to like have a plan of what the weekend looks like for them.
You know what? Yeah. See, this is the thing. I feel like all three of them together are like Voltron. I think that they could, if they put their egos aside, they really could run the house alone. Like, Darius is all about tasks. He'll take care of a task. Day will make sure everybody is on point. Dallas will make sure that stuff, like Darius having a dog just hanging out in the mud yesterday, Dallas would have been like, what are you doing? But at the same time, like, if they all work together, I feel like we could leave the house right now.
Yeah.
But they can't, they're not able to operate that way. Like, Dallas would be looking like, that's not my business. And Darius is going to do his own thing and, not really think about the consequences. And then Day, when she's looking at everything, if it doesn't look like it's supposed to, she's going to be fussing at everybody. So right now it's not harmonious.
Well, I guess it's more so,
but
hopefully we can do that where they can see what it's like by themselves, like the experience.
Mm-hmm.
Like, maybe I could do this, but I let them know, like, it's a whole lot of things that need to get done for you to just be in the house with somebody.
Yeah. So I wonder what other people do, like with their teens. When was it okay to leave them at home for the weekend?
I know in all the 80s movies, kids was having house parties at 16, 15.
Yeah. Oh no. Because I was definitely trying to reference what I'm just thinking about parties. And you know what's so crazy? We never had a house party. Like, my friends in high school, there was never a house party. So, I mean, we might have gone to, we knew people who had them, but we never did that. So I don't know. Do we have a household of kids where we disappear? We got one wild card right now.
Yeah.
I think that's really...
I think he would be the only one that would challenge that. But I don't think he would challenge it if we say absolutely no.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't
He
think
would go to where one is, though.
Oh.
it would be go where yeah. But yeah, I don't think he would either.
No doubt. Anybody want to give a shout out before we get out of here?
We just sat here and talked about our kids the whole time.
I think it's a good thing because, I wish I could have been a fly on the wall to hear what my parents were saying about their kids. I don't know if they had those conversations.
And the other thing, there's a family we met in Dubai, and their kids are awesome and amazing and fantabulous. And when we used to see the kids come home for the holidays, their interaction with their parents and what their parents would say they're doing, or what they would say they're doing when they're away, it was just like, how did they get there? So if our kids end up being fantabulous, then y'all be able to be like, this is what they were doing and talking about.
Oh yeah,
maybe that will help.
I think that they're developing into those people. I don't know how outgoing when it comes to dancing and.
Oh no, nothing like that.
But I think Day will sing. She'll do karaoke at some point. Yeah. I think Day will dance at clubs of the Persuasion.
Hey, she'll do all kinds.
And she'll fit right in.
She will. She will.
No, but shout out to our kids because we love you and we have high expectations for you to be happy and enjoy what you're doing.
Yeah. And I'm trying to look for a how-to parent club at this point.
Oh, that would have
been cool.
Yeah, for sure. Well, y'all make today better than yesterday. Don't worry about anything you can't control. GATA. Get after that action, or that action will get after you. Be great on purpose. Boom.